If fat loss feels much harder than it should, insulin resistance could be one of the very common reasons. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Ben, and here is today's question. What exactly is insulin resistance, and could it explain why fat loss in many of us feels so difficult? The short answer is this. Yes, insulin resistance is very common, and it can quietly block fat loss even when you are doing the right things. This is not always about effort, and it's not always about willpower. Follow Bend It with Dr. Ben for calm, practical health advice that fits real life. Now, many people say, actually, I'm eating less, I'm exercising, but the weight, it just won't move. That feels frustrating and often feels unfair. But what's happening? Here's the simplest way to understand insulin. Insulin is a very famous hormone. It's a signal to the body that tells the body what to do with sugar after you eat. Sugar has a choice. It can be used by muscles for energy to be burnt off or stored as fat for use later. When the insulin works properly, this switch turns it on to energy and off easily. You can use energy when you need it, and you can store fat when you need it. When fat storage switches off, it's not needed. With insulin resistance, that switch doesn't turn off properly. Even when you're active or eating less, more sugar keeps pushed towards fat storage, and stored fat becomes harder to access. Now, research has consistently shown this is a very common reason in many people why fat loss feels slower or stuck. So if progress feels harder than expected, it doesn't mean nothing is working. It often means insulin resistance could be getting in the way. So the practical takeaway is this: if fat loss feels unusually difficult despite real effort, explore insulin resistance as a possible explanation. It's probably worth considering. So could insulin resistance explain why fat loss feels so hard? Yes, because it affects where sugar goes to be burnt by the muscles or stored by fat. It's not always how hard you try. Bend It factor: 7 out of 10. I hope this gives some explanation for a common frustration without overpromising. I will see you again.